have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to meet, who you're going
New here, my name is Jamie and I post videos every Sunday. So today I wanted to talk about a recent Reformer Pilates challenge that I completed. It's called KX40 and it involves completing 20 classes in 40 days, which sounds crazy because it was. Because this is content that I don't usually talk about, I feel like I need to put a disclaimer out there that I'm not trained in fitness or nutrition or anything of that sort. So please do not take anything that I say in this video as professional advice because I'm not qualified. I also wanted to say a huge shout out to MoveActive for partnering with me. I honestly am so excited about this because I love their Pilates grip socks and I've been wearing them for a very long time. I find them to be so comfortable and they make me feel just so much more safe and secure during my classes because I don't have to worry about slipping, especially when I'm doing moves on the machine. If you're interested in picking up a pair, I will leave a link and a discount code in the description box below so you can score 15% off your first order. Anyway, so you might be wondering why did I sign up for this challenge? I have been a Reformer Pilates girly for about, I want to say like over a year now. I really started at Feel Good Pilates, which is in Melbourne and it's located in Carnegie. And I absolutely love that studio. Because I was one of their first members, I had a foundational membership and it was $55 a week for an unlimited number of classes. I've been doing a lot of different Reformer Pilates trials in Perth, just trying to find the best fit in terms of the studio, the instructors, etc. And I really enjoy KX Pilates. I did their 2-week trial, but I did find that it was on the expensive end of Reformer Pilates. And that's saying a lot when Reformer Pilates is already very expensive. So when I saw the challenge pop up, the biggest motivator for me was the price. So I paid $340 up front. So if you divide that by 20, it's around $17 per class. And if you successfully complete the challenge, then you get 4 free classes. So technically, if you divide 340 divided by 24, it's around $14 per class, which is honestly such a steal because I feel like their casual classes are around $30 each. So it was too good a deal for me to pass up. I also wanted to challenge myself on the discipline front, especially with the weather getting a lot cooler. It's so much more difficult to get out of bed and into your workout. So I have been pretty consistent with Pilates, so generally doing it around 2 or 3 times a week, but never like 4 times a week or even 5 times a week. So I knew that 20 classes in 40 days was going to be extremely challenging. So I filmed some before shots because I just wanted to see if I could really notice the difference in my body after completing the challenge. I didn't have really specific goals in mind because, as I mentioned, I really just wanted to save money. But I did want to become more toned, especially with my arms. I feel like that's always a goal of mine. And I also wanted to work on my core. I wanted to get, a little bit of ab definition going on. So talking a little bit about my experience going through the challenge, I found that with their schedule, because I was still going to the beginners classes, because personally I feel like KX is pretty intense and their beginner classes are not very beginner. Sometimes I found it difficult in terms of scheduling my classes because ideally I would have gone every second day, but just in terms of the realities of life and scheduling, I would sometimes go like 3 days in a row, and there was even one week where I went 5 times, which really pushed me. And I often did classes like 2 days in a row. So I would do, let's say, like a Tuesday evening class, and then I'd be back at a Wednesday 6 a.m. class, which was also very intense. I was definitely way more worried about the 2 classes in a row thing, but I felt like my body held up a lot better than I imagined. I will say another challenge was that classes booked out so early, so you'd really have to schedule it like at least a week, 2 weeks in advance. And sometimes the instructors would cancel last minute. So I'd have to quickly try to scramble and find another class that I can get into, like another beginner class, to make sure that I'd be actually able to complete 20 classes in the 40-day period. I found that I preferred going to morning classes because I really like to get my workout out of the way so I don't have to think about it. But then again, I found my body was so weak in the early morning classes, and I didn't feel like I could really push myself as much compared to like a 7:30 p.m. evening class. I feel like that time slot, especially during the week, that's when I really thrived. I felt like halfway through the challenge, that's when I really noticed a difference in terms of my strength and my ability to recover, because that's when I upped my weights, and that's when I felt like my body was recovering very quickly, because sometimes I would only feel like slightly sore after a class, which I was definitely not used to, because when I first started Reform Pilates, my legs would always be jelly, like no matter what. I could barely walk down the staircase. That's how sore I was. And so seeing the progression of that recovery was quite apparent to me, which I wasn't expecting. I found that because I was doing so many classes, I felt like I really needed to mix it up a little bit more. So I tried going to different instructors, and I found that depending on the instructor, they will really try to mix up their class styles. So for instance, there was one instructor that would incorporate the jump board, which I really enjoyed. And so that really helped it to not feel too repetitive. Something that I really liked during the challenge was also this massive board that they had at the studio with everyone's names who were doing the challenge, and little spots where you can tick it off when you went to class. And for someone like me who thrives off like a to-do list, that was also extremely motivating. Now, in terms of results, I feel like I did definitely see a lot more core definition, which is honestly so satisfying, and I'm just trying to hold on to it for as long as I can. And I think I toned up my arms a little bit more. And I do feel like the biggest takeaway is that I felt so much stronger after completing the challenge. And it did feel good to kind of up my weights, because I'm like, ooh, this is such tangible progress that I didn't really expect in that time period. So that was really good. And now I'm able to redeem my 4 classes, which is extremely satisfying, knowing that they were my reward. The mental challenge of actually committing to something and not backing out and testing my discipline, I felt like that was the most satisfying part of the challenge. If there's something similar that you can sign up to, which has that challenge element, I definitely say to go for it, because it feels very, very good to be on the other side. And it definitely did keep me motivated in a way that I've never felt in terms of working out and getting exercise in. If you've never given Reformer Pilates a shot, I would definitely recommend it. It's been the type of exercise that I've enjoyed the most in my life. I know it can be really, really intimidating. That is definitely how I felt when I walked into my first class. But I feel like it's all about trialing out different studios, different instructors, and the best studios and the best instructors will make you feel so welcome and supported, and they will guide you through all of the exercises. I think that sometimes at the gym, people might feel lost in terms of what to do, how many reps, etc. And having an instructor is honestly so handy. And I feel like I'm someone who thrives in a classroom environment, because the pressure of having so many people around you and, trying to keep up with everyone else in the class, that is also extremely motivating. And I find with Reformer Pilates, at least at most studios that I've gone to, there are penalties associated with last minute cancellations of your class or no shows at class. So it can be very annoying because you can't back out. But that is also the beauty of it, because once you're committed, you are locked in. I think Reformer Pilates is a great option if you're trying to build up your strength, if you're trying to tone your body, and it also definitely has a strong cardio element as well, particularly the jump board Reformer Pilates classes where you're like just jumping off the jump board and up and down the machine. Now that is definitely a cardio workout. I hope this video is a sign to try it out a class, bring a friend. It's definitely less intimidating when you have someone else there who's like, what the F is going on? So I hope you enjoyed this video and took something from it. I really appreciate you watching all the way till the end. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye!